And it feels so dirty when she starts talking cute. I really should ask her, but the point is probably moot. 'Cause she is watching him with those eyes. And she's loving him with that body, I just know it. Hello there, Ruby. First person to show today, too. Comrade. Comrade. Hello, 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 hello. Howdy, howdy. How I wish that I had Jesse's girl. Why can't I find a woman like that? Boom, 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 boom. Hello, Holland. Trying to think of anything that I know about Holland. The little boy that stuck his finger in the dike to stop the dike from exploding, and windmills. Little boy that stuck his finger in the hole in the dike to keep it from blowing up, and windmills. Clogs. Clogs. Wooden clogs, windmills. Little boy stuck his finger in the dike. Oh shit, I dropped my smoke. I tried to stick my cigarette in the dike, I guess. How I wish that I had Stacy's mom. Where can I find a cougar like that? That would have been a cool song for the 80s. How'd the convo go with that landlord? Didn't have one. I just called him. I tried to call him like 10 minutes ago. He didn't pick up. So I left him a message saying, hey, with the new stipulations, deal just doesn't work for us. Can't make you the money that you would require from me if I got people traipsing in and out of my business all day. Plus, I believe that the type of money that you're asking comes with privacy, and I'm not getting any. So we're going to pursue other options. Thank you very much, and good luck. So that's your voicemail. Where can I find a woman like that? Boom, 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 boom. Good enough for me. Yeah. I mean, hey, at least I know something, you know? At least I know something about Holland. A lot of Americans couldn't even come up with the little boy who put his finger in the dike, windmills, or clogs. Okay? Alfred Molina killed that scene. That's so good. That scene is so good. That's Cosmo. He's Chinese. They love fireworks. there's lots of good 3 a.m. vibe movies, dude. I mean, like, I'm a horror guy, and there's a lot of good horror movies that fit that bill, bro. You know what? You know what one's got good 3 a.m. horror movie slash action movie? What is that one? Fuck, what's the name of that movie, bro? It popped right into my head, and I was like, yep, that's a 3 a.m. vibe. It's got Denzel Washington in it, and he's tracking down a serial killer that's a demon that can jump from body to body. You guys remember this movie? Denzel Washington is like a cop investigating a bunch of murders, and he realizes that they're being perpetrated by the same entity that can just like jump into a human body, take control of them. Time on my side. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Time is on my side. Yes, it is. Is it Existence? Virtuosity? No. What is that movie? Fallen. That's a 3 a.m. vibe movie. Tell me I'm wrong. That one hits different and hits good at 3 a.m. That movie popped right in my head, too. Can't remember the name, but I remember the plot. John Goodman and Gandolfini is in it. You're right. And Denzel. I've fallen and I can't get up. Are you Jesus? Yes. How can I help you, my son? Annihilation. That one's a little too involved for me for a 3 a.m. flick. Let me give you a couple more of my style of 3 a.m. flick. The Blair Witch Project, the original. That's a 3 a.m. flick. Hits great. Always hits great. I'm going to be honest with you. The Blair Witch Project 2, Book of Shadows. Horrible movie. Hits different at 3 a.m. though. Host and Unfriended. Yeah. I agree. Mulholland Drive. Good one. Good one. Yeah, that dreamscape type of thing. Yep. I agree with you, dude. Book of Shadows isn't as bad as a lot of people make it out to be. It's just goofy. It's goofy and it's not anywhere near the same feel or mood as the original Blair Witch Project. It is a completely separate kind of meta film that a lot of people hate. I think it's kind of bad, but I really like the movie. There's something about it. Already talked. I just left the man. I tried to call the guy. Left him a message saying thanks but no thanks. We're gonna go with other options. Best of luck. Which is the smartest thing for me to do. Getting in a big old argument with that dude wouldn't change a thing. So I'm still not going to rent his house, and he's still not going to have me as a tenant. I have a very similar Blair Witch experience as you did. The first time I saw it was one and done. Yeah. Where were you even looking in California when you hate the heat? The town that I'm looking in California never peaks above 78 degrees in the summer. It's sandwiched between the western edge of the California coastal range and the ocean. So it never gets anywhere near 80 degrees, 90 degrees, or 100 degrees there. Chico, nope. Crescent City. Here's another 3 a.m. movie that just popped in my head. Have you guys seen Vivarium? Vivarium. That's a 3 a.m.er right there. And a recommended film. I don't know. Yep, I saw Abigail. I really liked it. Like, I went into it with zero expectations, not even knowing what it was about, and I was pleasantly surprised at every step by the good actors in it. Here's a little here's a little piece of trivia for you. The guy the guy in Abigail that plays a big kind of French Canadian criminal was the mocap artist for Proxima Caesar in the new Kingdom of Monkey movie. Kingdom of the Planet of Monkey, or whatever it was. He was the mocap artist for that, and then somebody else did the voice. Anyway, he's my favorite thing about Abigail. He was a great character in the film. He's always a bad guy in movies. Well, in this one, he wasn't. I mean, he technically is. He's kind of an anti-hero, but he's a good guy, bad guy in Abigail. He's great. He's fantastic. I really hope to see him in more movies because he was just like, he chewed the scenery. Big Kevin Durant. Yeah, Kevin Durant. Yeah, that's his name. Care for horror mockumentaries at all? I've seen a few that are okay. There's one called Hell House LLC. It's kind of like a mockumentary. I like that one, yeah. Yeah, the Poughkeepsie tapes. Yeah, I've seen that one. There's some good ones. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom to you, sir. Savage Land is great, very political. I haven't seen it. Yeah, I really enjoyed the first Hell House. I haven't seen any of the sequels. Got our Scrub Jay out today. Got our little Scrub Jay out. What are you up to, little birdie bird? Besides looking pretty. I like your little gray vest and your little blue coat. I love a Scrub Jay. You might be one of my favorite birdies to take a look at around here. You're very cute. You're very sweet. Kind of mean. Oh, I love a Scrub Jay. They're just so beautiful. That blue is just like mesmerizing on them, you know? Blue Jays are defensive buttholes. You're right, they are, but they're cute. Gassing up the bird, I know. He's adorable, though. What am I supposed to tell him? If you could finance but not make any type of movie, what do you mean? You're going to have to explain that one. Producing a film is making a film. Financing a film is making a film and gives you input. So I would be making a film if I financed a film, but I'm not sure what you're asking. Oh yeah, Lake Mungo. I've heard about that one. I don't think I've seen it. People have recommended it before, though. Or maybe I have seen it. I don't know. When you watch a movie on a day on average, you tend to start to like blend them together. I'm dreading the day AI takes over filmmaking. I'm looking forward to it with a fresh face. I don't fear any artistic revolution that happens. All revolutions in technology that have driven revolution in art have led to more accessible and broader and a greater diversity of art. So the people that are shaking in their boots over AI art and shit just need to chill. It's just another medium. It's another paintbrush. You just don't want tons of lazy films too late. You've got that now, and AI has nothing to do with it. So what do you fear? Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Like I said, like I know people are fucking boomerish on this, but there's going to be a whole group of people in 5 years or something. It's going to be recognized, just like digital artists used to be made fun of. You know, oh, that's not real art. You're using Photoshop. You're using this tool. This tablet's doing all the work. Your tools are doing all the work. Right now, nobody says that anymore, and it's just an accepted medium. The same thing will be said for prompters, people that are really good at prompting AI and prompting it to create iterations on the same theme and to adjust parts of that iteration until it's absolutely perfect to their vision. Yep, I'm 44 years old. I remember when people just used to laugh in the face of digital artists and be like, Photoshop, that's not art. That's bullshit. That's the computer made that. That's not impressive. Now, pretty much digital art is more ubiquitous, at least in the online space, than traditional art is. So it just takes time. People and people are always boomers about it. They always rise up. Yep, when movies first got sound, hey, they did it with movies, period. When moving pictures projected onto the wall came out, when the Lumiere brothers started to invent film, people rose up and were like, this is the death of art, this is the death of photography, this is the death of painting. Now a piece of art will never stand next to a moving picture, requires no skill to point a camera at a subject. All that shit. You go back and look, and this is all true. You go back and look at every technological revolution that has touched art, and there have been a million billion people up in arms. Oh, that's not real art. Oh, that's not real art. Oh, that's not real art. And then 10 years later, they're all doing it too. And they consider it real art. People have knee-jerk reactions to change. No, it's okay. I wasn't even really trying to change your mind. You're fine, Peyton. It's okay to be trepidatious about it. I just am not personally. But that's because I've watched different revolutions in art form happen. And it's never been a bad thing for artists and art lovers. Yep, people complained about books. People complained about the printing press. People complained about classical art when it started to depict Jesus. So was it blasphemous to depict Jesus? People complained about anatomically correct art. People complained about sculpture. Is sculpture an actual form, or are you just chiseling a form from a rock? Is there any art to sculpture? Everything that's happened artistically in human history has been met with immediate derision and has usually triggered one or two separate art movements. painting a soup can 4,000 times. But that's the thing. It's like, that's Andy Warhol. Andy Warhol wasn't an AI, he was a human being, and he made his entire career doing repetitions on simple themes, anti-art kind of stuff, right? That artist in his time was incredibly controversial, now considered to be one of the great American existentialists and expressionists. An iconoclast in visual art. So this like, and dude, I hate to be mean about it, so I'm not trying to be mean, but I feel like a lot of people that are up in arms about this are up in arms because they know a couple people that draw like furry art on commission. And they're like, my friend is gonna be out of a job. My friend is gonna be out of $80 a week because they can no longer draw furry porn. And I'm like, if your friend is smart, they're already on the front edge of DALL-E learning how to use it as a fucking art form. You know what I mean? You can whine about people that aren't going to go along with the change all you want. You know what I mean? I'm sure that like certain painting techniques cause certain painters to stand their ground. I'm not using these new pigments. I'm not using these new horsehair brushes. Are you crazy? A nylon brush? Are you kidding me? And I'm sure those people that weren't willing to learn how to use the new tool and what it availed them of fell behind. I'm sorry, that's just the way everything works.
Well, yeah, like the lithograph, that was a whole thing, because that's what Warhol used for a lot of things, right? It was the lithograph.
There used to be an entire group of monastic artists that would do calligraphy, because before the printing press, the only way to print a Bible was to write it out. So someone would take a copy of the Bible, copy it onto a beautiful manuscript, and there were entire artists whose entire job was hand copying books to exacting, perfect, beautiful, artistically pleasing specifications with decorations like flourishes, flowers coming off of certain words, and in the margins, little figurines and little scenes from what's going on the page. Every page. Beautiful. That art doesn't exist anymore because the printing press happened. Oops. Those artists, no job no more. If that's your passion, you can't make money doing it no more. Had to move on.
Art's just a tough gig, period.
It always has been. The term starving artist, you guys familiar with this term? There's a reason that's a term. Because being an artist is typically not a way to get rich. It's not a way to make money. It's not even really a way to make a living for most people that consider themselves visual artists. It's a tough racket, and you gotta be top of your game, and you've got to do things differently than everybody else. Because if all you're doing is drawing furry characters, I'm not saying good, bad, or otherwise, drawing people anime-style furries, there's literally 10 million people doing the same fucking thing. How are you ever going to stand out from that? You better learn to use the new tools.
Or do something more complex. Like
you better escape the referential art of your childhood and develop an adult sense of artistic style. And you better learn to do it in the newest, freshest, most popular medium, or you as an artist are just going to languish scribbling furry porn for $20 commissions. That's not the art world's fault. That's not the art consumer's fault. That's not technology's fault. That's your fault. You're taking the path of least resistance. You're using techniques that you learned by watching other artists, instantly recognizable as anime-inspired drawing stuff. Now, within that style, you can be exceptional. But most of the people that are whining about AI art aren't. You could find somebody drawing a fucking picture of your favorite anime protagonist even better, 10,000 times over all over the world. Innovate, move with the technology, embrace the new tools, or languish.
Yeah, mixed media is an option. Like sewing, like making little plushes and stuff.
The world is your oyster, but it's limited by your artistic vision. Do what makes you happy, let God guide you. Not everything will sell. Right. Well, I understand that. I'm not saying all art has to be monetized, but art is monetized.
And if you want to make a living, you gotta think different.
It is an issue that causes a lot of rancor right now because we're on the cusp of a sea change in how people make art. One of the gates of art is about to be battered down forever and for always. And artists that are smart have already started embracing using those tools and refining those tools to make beautiful, wonderful, compelling pieces of art.
Like all those portrait artists, a lot of them were put out of work when the photographs started getting better.
And I bet they bitched. Oh, there's no warmth in a photograph. There's no artistic touch in that. It takes no skill to point a box at a person's face and press upon a button. But where are those guys now?
That's why art started moving away from realism, because they saw that realism could be captured better.
Yeah, realism could be captured in the real.
Yeah.
So, existentialism, anybody? Surrealism, anybody? Dadaism? You know, all these art movements that were meant to challenge what people called art. And so many artists are ignorant of those movements and then want to whine about AI.
And art, or photography itself has become an art form.
Yeah. But at first, it was a controversial method of creating beautiful landscape paintings with no skill.
Yeah.
Oh, now an artist, all they have to do is point a magical box at a landscape. Truly, art is dead. No. Ansel Adams and every other great photographer tend to disagree, as do the people that pay millions for their work.
Yeah, and I think people forget, like, really good AI art, you have to fine-tune that shit. You can't just say, draw this and make exactly what you want.
In the mind of in the mind of these anti-AI Luddite people, AI art creation is this. Create me a badass dude with flames around him that looks hella cool. It spits something out, you post it and go, look at what I created. The truth of the matter is, the truly great AI art takes days.
They gotta specify the art style. They gotta fine-tune certain little aspects of it. Like
there are videos you can watch of people that are making AI art, and they walk you through like a time lapse of the iteration process. Just like when an artist will do a time lapse of them drawing. I've seen a few of these videos where an AI artist walks you through the prompting and the iteration, prompting iteration, shows you how tweak this part.
Yeah.
They know how to talk.
Yeah, because there's a certain language you have to use to communicate to these AIs.
They can figure out most things, but if you learn the things that get the best results, you get better results in fewer iterations. These are all things that anti-AI people won't even discuss, because they might have to admit that it takes skill to create a piece of really, truly compelling AI art.
Yeah, unless you just want something completely random.
Right. It's like they go like, oh, that's anybody can do that. Okay, so let's say I buy that. Anybody can pick up a pack of crayons. Does that mean you shouldn't sell crayons to people who can't draw? Just because a person doesn't want to put much effort into it, they can't pick up a pen and draw a picture now? That's not art. Okay. It's just like, but this gatekeep mentality, if you go back and look at the history of art and technology colliding, this gatekeep kind of mentality is not new. It happens every time there's a new piece of technology that changes the way that people make art and think about art.
Because a lot of these people doing commissions are using, like, digital painting.
Exactly.
Or
Digital,
you can...
in the early 2000s, people that did Photoshop art were laughed at in the same way that iterators are laughed at.
Like, oh, you can just copy paste a texture. You can just fill this.
Yeah, that tool did that for you. The tool made that line look good. That tool cleaned it up for you. You used a filter to blur this instead of actually painting it. You've got no talent. Now,
those are the people that are
making the big money doing commission art. And it's all considered art by everybody. Nobody's going like, Photoshop ain't art. You just don't even hear that Luddite perspective anymore. Everybody accepts it. And I was telling people before you came out, 10 years from now, this AI prompting shit will be the same shit. Everybody will use it. Everybody will accept it. Everybody will think it's the coolest fucking thing in the world. And art will move with it. And all these people whining about how they're not going to be able to make their $20 commission a week drawing a busty wolf woman. Because now a person can just make that happen. Sorry, you got left behind. You never made yourself stand out. You never did anything fucking explosive, unique. You went the easy route. You drew the same furry art on commission all the time, and now nobody wants it. Now nobody needs your services anymore. Oops. And you want me to whine and hold back this tool that, by the way, is not being held back. It's being pushed. You want me to sit with you and go like, AI sucks. No thanks. I'm not a Luddite.
Saying like, we should just smash all the printers so the calligraphy artists don't get put out of work.
These people don't make that association. They think, well, this is different. Well, it is. I'll give them that. This is different. There's never been an AI movement in an art before. That's the point. There was never a camera before there was a camera. There was never a moving picture camera before there was a moving picture camera. You know, they even blew up when they added sound to movies.
Oh, yeah.
People are like, oh, it's the end of the art form. Cinema's dead now because...
Yeah, because they had like a whole group
orchestras.
Of people. Yeah.
They had an orchestra for every showing of every film that would play a backing track, sync to the film, right, in art form. And all of a sudden, movie makers can put their own sound on it, and people blew up.
Yeah. Editors had to change when you didn't have to like...
Yep.
Cut out each little section of the film.
Not only that, but they had to learn how to sync up the audio track. They had to learn how to edit the audio track when there was a fumble that didn't quite match the lip sync. So a new art form.
Lip syncing stopped being a thing because you didn't have to have separate audio.
Right.
So
right. That was a long time, though.
Yeah.
It was a long time before they were able to do like boom mics on the set to capture on-set audio.
Yeah.
Even back in like the early 70s, you'll find movies that are completely dubbed.
Yeah.
Completely. So it took there was 50 years worth of filmmaking, 40, where like you recorded the visual, you recorded an audio track, and those had to be married in post. And what else was born? Foley. The Foley artist was born. These are people that, I know this is a very simplistic way of putting it, bang coconuts together to make a horse gallop. They find things, and they use specialized mics. So if somebody's breaking an arm, they grab stalks of fresh celery and they make all those cool sound effects. Anytime there's a footstep, there's no mic down on the ground picking up the footsteps when they're filming a movie.
But like even Foley, because like once they have that sound, like the infamous Wilhelm scream, they did that once and then they just kept using it.
Well, that's a referential meme amongst directors and filmmakers now. But yeah,
they didn't hire a new guy to do the scream every time.
They just reused the Wilhelm scream and probably will forever.
Yeah.
It'll be a self-referential cinema meme until cinema is no longer there. But you know, on the topic, we're talking about Foley. It's another dying art. AI can more accurately recreate the exact sound. It just hasn't been trained to do it yet. Yeah. So as soon as they train AI to do Foley, it's going to be able to pull from the data bank of every sound bite ever, find the exact right crunch sound for 2 inches of snow, and there's going to be no need for the dude in there figuring out how to make a beat sound like that, rubbing it up against a rock, you know. And those people will probably feel hard done by when they're long-standing art
Yeah.
form becomes pointless.
Crop artists, the 3D printer probably disrupted that industry a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Everything, right? Everything is...
CGI definitely made a huge fucking
Oh, CG
impact.
completely destroyed like macro miniature artistry and model builders.
Yeah.
Completely and utterly removed them. You can barely find people that can do that kind of skilled labor anymore because there's no request for it anymore. We're talking about macro miniatures, one of the best and finest examples, and I really recommend you do this. Aliens, there's a making of that shows some handheld stuff on the sets of Aliens, and one of the most beautiful macro miniatures, maybe the most beautiful macro miniature ever, is the atmosphere processing unit on LV-426. They built it in like 1/100th scale, which is still huge. It's on this giant set in a studio in Britain, but it is perfectly detailed in design, and the way that they shoot it, and the way that they light it, and the way that they edit it in post, and the way that they sound design it, it makes it feel like you're flying up on this giant thing that's as big as like 10 twin towers. You know what I mean?
That first Star Trek movie, that was another like really big macro miniature.
They used a huge macro miniature for the Deep Space Nine station. Built this big, beautiful miniature, filmed it in this open space green screen or blue screen so they could move the camera around it. And they got all these beautiful, big, looming shots of this against the stars, right? All that's dead. Star Wars used macro miniatures. The opening shot of A New Hope, where it shows just the space, and then all of a sudden from on top of the screen, Imperial Star Destroyer. Dun, 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 dun. That was a macro miniature filmed like this. It's wild. Wild, right? Pretty much a dead art.
Even the Henson Company is dealing with like animated Muppets instead of the puppet artists.
Well, one of the things that it was really disappointing to me, because I started to really enjoy it, but I couldn't keep watching it, was I tried to watch that Dark Crystal sequel. And I loved the puppetry and I loved the practical stuff, but there was so much CG. And I was just like, this doesn't feel the same to me. Like I'm ripped out of the world when a big CG monster comes bumbling in. It's like, make me something that's there, that the actors are reacting to. Even if they're puppets. You know, the puppeteer is seeing what's happening and reacting to it for the puppet. I need that. That connection is just not there. It's just not there. And it's such a fucking necessary connection.
But, you know, there's plenty of other CG in different contexts that you've loved.
It's true. Yeah, I mean, there's great examples of CG. It just, when it's artfully used, and typically when it's used in tandem with practical effects. Some of the worst CG effects in that Alien movie we watched, like the most visually egregious ones, were the ones where there really wasn't much practical that they could do to augment it. It's like the acid spit. It looked cool. It was a cool conception for a scene, but it was just a big CGI, blah, blah, blah. There was this jarring thing, you remember the beast at the end? Where like they made a big practical guy and had him in a rig and he would smile and stuff. When they were showing him in the suit, it wasn't my favorite creep character, but it actually had some visual interest. And then they would pull back to a wide shot and it's CG. It's like, oh, rips me out of that. You know, so even blending CG and practical, if it's not done right, the CG is too jarring and the practical isn't great.
But it still doesn't offend you enough to be like, I'm not gonna watch any CG movies.
No. Oh, I would never watch a fucking action spectacle movie again if I said that. Even fucking Mad Max is a CG movie. It's just a heavily practical CG movie. So no. don't gatekeep it. It's just not my favorite thing in filmmaking because, and here's why it bugs me. I'll let you guys know why it bugs me. In 1996, a film was released. The film is called Jurassic Park. In that film, you will see some of the finest blending of practical and CG effects that have ever been committed. They hold up exactly to this day. They look better than 90% of movies out. And here we are. What is that? 96? We're
Like,
almost
30 years
almost
later.
30 years later.
And they
Modern
just
blockbuster films are lagging behind that film. That was 93, my bad. Even worse. 35 years later, close to it, the film industry still can't recreate that level of quality and integration. How's that? Go watch the new Alien movie and look at the de-aging thing they did on Ian Holm.
Well, I don't even know if it was necessarily de-aging.
It was.
Just making his mouth move.
Well, they took his dude from the first movie, made a CG composite of it, and then used an AI Ian Holm voice and made the mouth move, and it just looks worse than a video game. Like, go watch Wukong. When they talk, their voices match exactly what's being said, and their tongues move, and you can see their teeth and shit. This was just like, I'm here on the ship.
But I just mean like it's not de-aging because he was long dead when they made it.
Yeah, so what they used was his... It's de-aging in the traditional sense. Were he alive, he's an old man. It wouldn't have worked. They would have had to de-age. But I get what you're saying. You're right.
He wasn't used in his current age as a reference, except...
Well, his voice training, I bet the voice training they used, because there's way more modern stuff with Ian Holm than there is contemporary to the time they're trying to do. And so there's just no excuse to me, and I've come to see CG oftentimes as just lazy filler. Cheap, lazy filler. Oh, it cost us fucking, like $10 million less to farm out this entire effect sequence to a Cambodian team. We paid them $3 million and it would have cost $30 million to shoot practically, but you get what you pay for. It looks like dog shit in the cinema, and that's that. Dude, I'm telling you, the de-aging of Carrie Fisher and Grand Moff Tarkin and Mark Hamill and shit in Star Wars and Rogue One, bro, the shit that was in Romulus with Ian Holm makes that look good. Makes that look like, if I would have gotten that level, if I would have gotten Grand Moff Tarkin level de-aging and dedication to making Ian Holm come back, I'd have been like, but it's just blurry down here because his mouth has to move, the teeth change all the time. It's just like, it looks like CG from 2001.
Yeah, it looks like it's two separate things. Like, it's not integrated.
The top part of his half is real, and the bottom part is just this mishmash of blurry CG shit. It's like, how can you not do this yet? And then I look at like the CG cutscenes in the video games I'm playing, and those look great. So what was it? Why did this look like such dog shit in a AAA movie? The world may never know. God, the sun just wants, it's like, I will bake you. That'll give me about 5 minutes of shade before I flip it all again.
We're on the downslope, though.
What?
Of summer.
Yeah. That's true, D. You're baking your buns today. You're feeling like a little toasty woasty. I need to get myself a big ice water. And then we'll see how much longer I can last out here. For the case. so he gets it. Yeah, Kodak, they don't want to see you winning. They want to see you in a penitentiary. Delicious microplastics. Delicious. Chemicals. I'm gonna pick you guys up. My poor little phone's hot. Cool down, little phone. Here, let me help you out. I know a trick. Let me help you out, little phone. Lazy and subpar. When I'm paying somebody $15 to create my persona with giant booba, I just have to have an artist that looks like every other artist, because you really can't get that artist's touch on your giant wolf with big human penis and balls, you know. You really just, AI will never be able to capture the nuance of my anime waifu, you know. It's like, okay, buddy. keep thinking that. Yeah, zero microplastics seems to be what there should be in our brains. Big titty anime girls will definitely need that human touch. An AI representation of such is just comically bad. My beach ball sized Futa wolf scrotum just isn't the same unless it's sketched by the touch of a human hand, you know. Oh, jeez, boy. AI art is slop because my double penetration Futa wolf scrotum vagina, being filled up with a giant tentacle, can only be conceived of by the touch of a skilled human hand. Well, tell me more, Zoomer. You guys, all you little zoomies have got the whole history of art figured. Do you think of the SAG after strikes last year? Based. But any strike is based for me. Did you call the landlord yet? Yep. Left him a message and left him a text message saying, sorry, but the new stipulations break the deal. Can't do it. Can't make money for you if there are people traipsing in and out of my house all day. So we're looking at other options. Good luck in the future. Thanks. Resisted my impulse to be shitty or capture him in a fucking conversation where I could berate him, and I just fucking severed the tie. If I ask AI to prompt me a stoner comedy scene and the AI steals parts of the Big Lebowski, is that fair? When you say steals parts of the Big Lebowski, do you mean it just takes the Big Lebowski's characters and puts them in another situation, or what? Like, what do you mean it steals parts? Because if you're talking about it looks at the Big Lebowski and uses some overall feel from that and an amalgamation of other stoner comedies to create something, that's what humans do, retard. Do you think the idea for the Big Lebowski just germinated in the heads of the two brothers that made it? What are their names? Do you think it just appeared up there with no references to other art, no references to other characters? The Coen brothers? So you think the Coen brothers were just sitting around one day and one of them just had an epiphany about this completely unique character that isn't inspired by other work? I'm rude? Okay. Does that have any bearing on what I'm talking about? Because if it doesn't, you better shut your fucking hole about it. Adults are having a conversation in here and your little fifis getting hurt. Zero. Don't give a fuck. Yeah, if it just rips the entire fucking visual appeal, if it just takes the dude and puts him in another movie and monetizes that, yeah, that's too much. But if it's just looking at the Big Lebowski, its style of humor, and other stoner comedies and creating a new thing based and inspired on those things, that's what human beings do. People who say stuff isn't inspired don't do art themselves. Yeah, they just think that like somebody was sitting around one day, I want to make a good movie. Aha! This guy, Jeff Lebowski, just popped into my head apropos of nothing. When, if you actually look at the Big Lebowski, it's a gumshoe movie. It's like an old 20s and 30s black and white detective movie. Of all the offices in all the world, she had to walk into mine. I had no idea at the time, but this dame was gonna turn my life upside down. It's a gumshoe movie. You know the Brother Seamus scene? I'm a Brother Seamus. He's like, who the fuck is that, man? A private dick, man. So let me ask you, let me turn the question on you. Did the Coen brothers rip off all of those old detective movies when they made The Big Lebowski? I'll wait. Did the Coen brothers rip off all of that other stuff that The Big Lebowski was based on and designed after when they made The Big Lebowski? It's a simple yes or no. You'd think it'd be simple. They did something unique and creative with it, right? They took their inspiration and they made a new character with it. They took their knowledge of comedy and their knowledge of detective movies, gumshoe movies. So if a person uses prompts an AI to do the same, says, make me a buddy stoner cop comedy where the protagonists are two gay guys. They're both black. They're both from Africa. And they've traveled here by boat to make a new way in America. And they become cops by happenstance, right? It's going to look at buddy cop movies. It's going to look at action adventure movies with cops. It's going to look at all the tropes and all the types of humor. Like, are these usually rated R? Are they rated PG? It's going to look at every permutation of that type of movie that's ever been made. And it's going to iterate something new based on those tropes, based on that influence. That is exactly what a human being does. Period. Did George Lucas not whole cloth rip off Frank Herbert? No. No. Frank Herbert did not write Star Wars. So no. George Lucas took a lot of fucking inspiration, but he also took a lot of inspiration from Asimov. Foundation. Or Foundations. Right? Was that a ripoff? Or was it just, you know, because he also took a lot of inspiration from westerns, and old serial action films, westerns and action movies. That was baked in too. So did he rip those off when he made Star Wars? See what I mean? AI, anti-AI people never have an answer to any of these questions because they understand that the path I'm leading them down undermines their greatest argument against AI, that it's quote unquote stealing from artists. AI is stealing from artists. How? Well, it's just like learning about all the types of art, and then it's just like using elements from that and putting it together in a different way to make something that's like new, but it really was just this other artist's work. I'm like, oh, so you mean like artists do? Well, no, because an artist is what? Divinely inspired? An artist lives in a vacuum? What are you telling me? An artist never looks at other art before they make their masterwork of art. Artists aren't influenced entirely by the art that came before them. Well, yeah, but it's different with a machine, though. How? How is it functionally different for a machine to look at all the buddy cop movies and make something new out of it based on the tropes and humor style, right? How is it different if a machine does that at somebody's prompting or if you do it? Well, because reasons that gatekeeping, really. Gatekeeping, and I don't want my friend that draws big booba furry wolf Fuda porn to go out of business. Oh, okay. So your argument makes no sense and is based entirely emotionally. Yes, yes. It's an emotional and visceral reaction because I have one friend who draws big booba anime Fuda wolf porn. And they will be out of business. They're already lost commissions. Okay. Okay, buddy. Whatever you say, buddy. But the major arguments that these anti-AI Luddites, and they get real mad and just run away from these arguments too. When they make these arguments, they're flimsy as fuck. They just fall apart in the face of just basic knowledge about the history of art. So, they're entirely dependent on, they're just kind of like emotional attachment to the idea of somebody sitting down and drawing something. Or I guess in this day and age, sitting down and making something on Photoshop. That's the only way that is real, true human art. Using this new tool that's come out, that's not real. We've never heard that before in the history of the collision of technology and art. We've never heard that this new art form isn't real. Because it democratizes the artistic process and lets more people try it. It's not real. We've never heard this before. So this is entirely new, guys. Just kidding. This happens every time a new invention intersects with the art world. And like I said, 5-10 years from now, all these anti-AI Luddites will be slurping up all the AI goodness. And you won't hear a peep out of them anymore. And they'll be talking about how cool and talented people are for iterating this new movie or this new piece of art. Man, you're such a talented prompter. Some dude that's fucking hating on AI right now, 10 years in the future. So at least you and I and those of you that agree with me on this at least are ahead of the curve. We're not being Luddites. We're not dragging our feet when a new artistic movement has started. We're looking forward to the future. And these people are all screaming about the past. Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. Dude, I lived through that. People used to shit on rave music and, like dub and house and jungle and D&B, right? That's not music because you're just putting it into a machine and it goes, That's not music, bro. Everybody that makes this isn't a fucking artist, bro. Anybody that listens to this is garbage, bro. That's not real music, bro. Real music goes, you know what I mean? That's all music is, bro. Real music goes, it was hip hop too. All they did was steal that fucking song. All they did was when they would sample something. All they did was steal. All rap did was steal. Rap isn't even an art form, bro. You'll still hear people talking this shit, but it used to be way more ubiquitous in the 80s and 90s. Hip hop is just talking over somebody else's music, bro. There ain't no creativeness. Now it's the #1 genre of music in the world. Uncontested. So these people are dragging ass. They're going to be behind the 8 ball because people like this always are. They're reactionaries. They see change coming and they go, oh, fear, fear, fear. And they make asses out of themselves, and then they end up being the biggest proponents in the future. Just watch it. You hang around long enough, and you watch any content creators that call AI slop and say that it's not real art, right? Do a remind me 10 years, right? And come back and see what they think about AI art in 10 years and tell me I was right. Thank you for being a breath of fresh air on the left for this AI take. I mean, I don't try to be a breath of fresh air, but I'm glad I am. I try and be a breath of salty, stale air. No, I'm kidding. Thank you. Well, that's different now, though, Flunky. Back in the day when people started modding video games, all you're doing is ripping off somebody else's work. This isn't art. Taking somebody else's game. Now people are unequivocally, especially like gamers, I hate the term, gamers. Oh man, this mod is pure fucking art, bro. So well done. I can't believe how much work went into this. Truly a masterpiece. And all of these people are just smacking their face into their fucking reactionary Luddite AI take, and they're all going to be sucking it. They're already doing it. Most of the people right now are already living in contravention with their stated fucking shit. They're already, probably unknowingly, consuming AI art every day and enjoying it. Yep, video games. I've seen all this, right? This is all in my lifetime. Commercial video games. I owned the first real big one, right? And I owned an Atari 4600, an Atari 70, whatever the fuck. I had an NES, right? And at the beginning, it was just like, that's kid shit, bro. There wasn't even anybody trying to say it was art, because it really was for kids. Now look. Yeah, 2600. I couldn't remember the numbers. But I had the first one and then the second one. It was a bigger console. I had a friend that had an Intellivision. I had another friend that had a ColecoVision and a Vectrex, which was the coolest old console. If you want to see the coolest old fucking retro console, go look up a video where somebody reviews the Vectrex. Bro, that thing, to play that thing in the 80s was electrifying, bro, because it was nothing like any other game system. It was just so cool. Oh yeah, there's esports leagues. There's talk of there being like esports in the Olympics and shit. There's fucking people making millions of dollars doing it. It's just like every single thing that comes on that challenges a new form of art or tries to create it or challenges an old preconceived notion about what art is and how it's created. Every time that happens, there's a bunch of screeching weasels that run around like their hair's on fire. And 10 years after that, they're all using it and loving it and calling it great art. And you will watch all the dumbasses grifting off of you, playing into your fear. You will watch them lockstep become that. They will go from being like, this is slop, this isn't art, takes no skill, to be like, oh my God, the most talented iterator right now is Johnny Iteration. This movie he's made is just absolutely brilliant. Watch. Sorry, I use a specific voice when I'm talking about these types of Luddites. You'll have to forgive me. When I'm talking about these types of reactionary Zoomers that don't know the forest for the trees and have never studied the history of art and can't even really interact with art, you know, I tend to use a certain type of voice for that, you know, a certain, I don't know what you're talking about, Anon Citizen. I don't know what you're talking about, man. Show me an AI song that doesn't suck. Show me a country song that doesn't suck. Do you think that maybe art isn't determined by your personal taste? Or do you think all art is, they all like go like, well, what does music games think? Is it art? Probably not. Okay, it's not art then. Is that how you think art is defined? by what you think might be going on, or what you think might be important, or what you think is cool and what you think is lame? Is that what you think is makes something art or not art? See, there's never, you didn't say it's not art, then why the question? Then what's the question for? Are we sea lioning? Are we attempting to start a sea lion interaction with Paul's ego? I'm saying it's trash. Oh, okay. Well, as long as you admit that it's art. As long as you admit that it's art, because if it's not art, then nothing is, because now it's just subjective to what you think is cool. As long as you can say it's trash, as long as you admit it's art, we're chill. If you let others define your music taste based on what they think is slop, you will hear garbage forever. This is true. This is true, yeah. As far as music is concerned, I've yet to hear an AI song that's enjoyable to listen to. What if you've heard an AI song that you enjoyed, but you didn't know it was an AI song? Have you thought about that? What if you were playing a video game where instead of hiring a composer, they used AI to add sweeping music, and you were like, damn, that fucking score was powerful, but you never really looked into who wrote it, and you don't know the lore? You ever think that that's possible, that that's happened to you multiple times already? Where you've, at least enjoyed a musical score or part of some music that was completely created by AI and you don't know it? Uh-oh. His little brain is going, how do I make me right about this still? I suppose it's possible, but I've yet to see it. Well, there you go. I would go a little farther than possible. I'd say it's probable that you've engaged with multiple AI created assets that you've enjoyed and used and remarked on the beauty of, that you thought some beautiful fucking artist made, that were made completely by a machine. Yep. Position.exe has encountered a critical error. And away he flies. See how flimsy it is, folks? Bum, bum, bum. This dude doesn't look at the potential bad side effects of this BS. His BS is a flimsy argument and very contradictory. Wow. Roasted. Man, you just completely undermined my argument by saying, like, basically, like, here, I'll give you a tip, though. Next time, just type, nuh-uh. It's way fucking faster than typing out that whole chonky fucking paragraph worth of shit. And it really conveys the same message. This guy's argument, nuh-uh. That's really all you got to type. Just saving you a little time in the future, bro. But yeah, defeated, roasted, toasted, burnt to a crisp. Why don't you make a counter argument that lays out these potential negatives, and we'll talk about them one by one. Or just say, I'm rubber and you're glue, and whatever you say bounces off of me and sticks to you, bro. Or how about this one? This is a classic from the 80s. I know you are, but what am I? I know you are, but what am I? How about that one? Did you read anything I said? I read the whole fucking thing out loud, retard. Ban him. He's a sea lion. Did you even read what I said when I read the whole thing? Yep, sea lioning. He's out. Too stupid to participate. Bye, sir. Too dumb to talk. Too lost to listen to. Yeah, sea lion. I never knew what it was called. I learned that term just like a few weeks ago. But I've known the style of trolling for a long time. I just didn't know people were calling it sea lioning. A person that tries to seem like they're trying to have a good faith argument, but really all they're trying to do is just run the argument in circles, loop it back on itself endlessly until you get tired and mad, and then they go, pwned. How is that a tactic? Yeah. Good point. Good point, Xavier. I don't see how that's even a tactic, dude. I don't know why sea lion, but you can look it up. That's the term. I just didn't know the name of it. The person spinning out a bad faith argument so that you get frustrated with looping back, constantly shifting the goalposts, acting like offended because you got the least bit heated in the argument, and then it becomes about that. You know what I mean? That's sea lioning. Just somebody that wants to argue and spin you out. Well, sea lions are very insistent. So there's a place here in California, I actually saw them towards the beginning of this year, where you can sit by the ocean and look at the sea lions in their natural habitat. They got a protected beach where they, spawn and raise their pups and stuff in the summer, or in the late winter going into the summer. And my wife and I went and saw them, and the male sea lions are these big, insistent blubber butts that just barge into other sea lions' businesses and just go, right? And then everybody goes like, ah. All the other sea lions are like, ah, and they go away. Yeah. There'll be like a whole bunch of sea lions just chilling together. And then the male sea lion will come over, like, and they're huge too. When they move, their whole blubbery body is like, and their big asses just like, they'll flop right in there and go, and everybody's like, aw, and they all just go like, one goes this way, and he breaks up the whole fucking thing. You got to see them in person, man. Aquarium animals are always kind of sad. It's cool, you know, a lot of times they're rescues and shit, but aquarium animals are horrible. Like, I hate that. Come to the central coast of California, come to San Simeon, and just see them in their natural habitat when they're spawning. Why do they do that? Because they're very competitive. Like, the males are very competitive over breeding partners and shit, and they like to. It's because they want to be in charge of everything. They have to barge into. You know what I mean? Like, that's just what it's a competitive thing. Oh my God, they're huge, bro. Some of the bigger ones. I was talking to the lady down there. Can push above 700 pounds. She pointed at a male to me and my wife, I believe, that she thought was that size. Just huge. He was down the beach farther from the viewing area, but he was huge, looming still. I was like, dude, that guy's gotta be the fucking biggest sea lion on the beach. He had to be every bit of 700 pounds. Huge animal. Huge. They're incredible. Yeah, they're one. Dude, we sat there for a couple hours just looking at them. You know, just watching them. Sea lions could kill a grown ass man. Grown ass bodybuilder, 6'5" man could get killed by a sea lion, bro. Elephant seals get even bigger, bro. And they're similar. Yep. It doesn't matter how big you are, how buff you are, how athletic you are. You get on the wrong side of a sea lion, you lose. You better have a big old fucking semi-auto shotgun loaded up with fucking buckshot, and you better just unload it into its head and hope for the best. It's another one of those types of beasts. It's like, unless you're armed perfectly for the encounter, you lose. Hippos are the most dangerous animals on the planet Earth. People don't know this. They're fast in water. They're fast on land. They can run like 25, 30 miles an hour on land at a full gallop. They're vicious and territorial as fuck. They just bite you. Those big maw, the big teeth, crush you, roll you up under the ground and push you against the mud and drown you out. Most dangerous animal on the planet. You are never in more danger than if you're out in the middle of the fucking African wilderness and you're looking at a hippo, a bull hippo, and you got nothing to protect yourself. You're fucked. That motherfucker will kill your ass and horribly crush you. It's fucked. Leave you fucking dying but broken. Stomp you into the fucking ground. They maul you up, bro. Yeah, I think about that type of stuff sometimes, like the ocean, because, like, I think it's something like we know, like, people will say, and it's true, we know more about the surface of Mars than we know about the bottom of our own oceans, right? Um, so there's a ton of unexplored deep water areas of the ocean, and who knows what the fuck? I mean, they discovered an entire ecosystem, two actually entire ecosystems on one dive back in the, I think it was 2011. They sent this super deep sea drone down to look at the volcanic vents in the super deep sea. They expected it was going to be completely barren of life because the temperatures in the water there are super above what normally, supports life. Instead, they found these vents literally teeming with these white crabs and bacteria and a whole ecosystem based around the volcanic vents and these crabs eating the bacteria. They on that same dive, they also found a methane lake. So they went down to the bottom and they found this thing, and it was weird. It looked like a lake under the water, and it turned out to be deep methane, like a methane deposit settled at the very deep part of the water, held down by all that immense pressure. They sent the drone down into the methane lake, And it was teeming with life. Teeming with life. So, you know, this idea that there's tons of shit being discovered constantly out of the deep ocean. Every time they send a genuine expedition down to an unexplored region, it typically comes back with a bunch of data about creatures that we've never seen. So, yeah, who knows what the fuck is down there, bro? There's no way to know. And, well, there's one way to know. Continue to explore, right? Continue to push the boundaries of deep sea navigation. I want the government to explore the Antarctic. Imagine all the dinosaurs, blah, 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 that are waiting to be found. Yeah, I mean, because the Antarctic used to be part, right? Am I wrong about this? It used to be part of Pangea. And there's tons of like oil deposits there because the whole of the Antarctic continent used to be forested, right? And it was teeming with life. So there are going to be tons of dinosaur fossils there preserved and probably better than a lot because they're buried under miles of ice accumulation and shit. That's fucking awesome, man. God damn, this fucking phone down with a piece of ice on the back of it, and it slipped. I slipped and flipped and double dipped and tripped. Yeah, these phones, like, sometimes they just start overheating out here, man. It's not even really, like, repellently hot for me, but the camera, and it's not in direct sunlight or anything either, but the camera and all that just gets fucking, it just starts to heat up. But not for long. Maybe there's something preserved down there that can survive the deep cold that's just waiting to awaken and reap the earth of all life. Global warming truly will be the end of us, but not in the slow way that we thought. It will unleash the Kraken. What if, bro? The Thing. Yeah, dude, the Thing is buried down there. We unleash it with our hubris and our plastic. Paul's nose. But not for long. What's wrong with my nose, bro? Don't fucking shit on my nose. Megatron, bro. What if it is? Stand back, humans. Your hubris has ruined your planet. We imprisoned Megatron here 10,000 cycles ago, hoping that the ice would remain. But your hubris has freed him. Luckily for you, the Autobots. Remain vigilant. Autobots, roll out. That would be so lame. Oh, poor Autobots. They're not lame, bro. The Autobots ain't lame. Be mean to the Autobots. Favorite Transformer? Soundwave, bro. He was my favorite. I had him back in the day. Soundwave was a legit tape player. And he had a tape that you could play that also went and turned into little buddy. Soundwave, bro. And then the only other option that I'll accept from people is Starscream. But not for long. Sorry. I'm just trying to cool down the fucking phone. If I would have left it alone, it probably would have overheated about 20 minutes ago. I'm not overheated. But my blood is thick or thin from this heat. I'm acclimated now. I don't start suffering until it's over 100 degrees, bro. Most people would be like, I'm just like, barely got a mist on me. Oh no, dude. Transformers were ubiquitous in the 80s and 90s, bro. I burn easily, extremely pale. I'm pretty pale too. I've just been out in the sun all summer, so I've got a little color on me. I've actually got like a little farmer's tan and shit. I'll prove it. Look, watch. That color. Da 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 da. You know what I mean? That's my normal pale level, probably right in here. Probably even a little more pale than that because I've been shirtless out here a bunch this summer too. Da na 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 na. I know they made a movie in 1986 and it had Weird Al's Dare to Be Stupid on it. Oh, that's cool. Well, I'm typically like when I used to go into the doctor and they'd get blood work done, the one thing that they would say every time is, you know, everything looks pretty good, your cholesterol is high and you're vitamin D deficient. And that's typically like your body creates vitamin D from processing sunlight through your skin. So that just means you need to touch grass, basically. Well, last time I got blood work done, my D was fine. So I don't even have to supplement that anymore. That's a win for me, you know. My vitamin D was... good luck, Stone Butt. You live in Scotland, there's no vitamin D. No vitamin D in Scotland. Brain Scan that's a good 3 a.m. movie. Brain Scan. It's a bad movie, but good for 3 a.m. movie. Ah, freak out. Well, I'm just more of like, well, I was for a very long time more of a nocturnal person. I've kind of like started rotating, and I think I'm settling into more of like a wake up in the morning, go to bed at night kind of guy, and that has made me out in the sun more, and then just me feeling better has let me be out in the sun more, and that's, you know, deliberate. So that's good. I'm gonna help myself out a little bit here though, because it's time for that to happen. We've had enough of this giant blanket of coarse, thick hair on my neck. I think I get that off my neck. That's gonna lower my core temperature a little bit and help me stick out a little more time in the sun here. Ugh. I've gotten pretty good at giving myself a ponytail. I'm not as quick as some ladies that I'll see. Like, my wife drives me insane. She doesn't even need a fucking rubber band, bro. I've got to have one of these or my hair is just not doing anything. She will do this and then just flip her hair around itself and tuck it in, and it just sits there. And I'm like, teach me your ways. But she's told me it's because I have a very different kind of hair. My hair is poofier and you know, wavier, I guess would be the term, than hers. Hers is very fine and straight. Do you rock a braid? I can't braid, so no. Ever try one of those neck fans? No, but I would. You have a hair routine? I'll go through it with you. I don't think it's all that complicated, but I guess it is if you really think about it. So yeah, I wash my hair about twice a week. If I wash it any more than that, it strips out the oils and it gets dry, and I get like dandruff and shit. It's not a good look. So twice a week, you know, leave plenty of time in between. In between that, when I shower, I'll get my hair wet, but I won't, put the shampoo and conditioner in it, but twice a week. And then hair care wise, I just brush it out every morning. And when it's in between times when I've washed it, I've got this dry shampoo stuff that I can spray on that'll help if it looks a little oily at my scalp or something. But I don't use that very often, because as long as I stick to my regimen, I keep the oils in my hair like balanced to the right way. So I think that, because like I don't think of my hair as nice. It's just there, right? And it has to be taken care of in this way or that way. And I've learned just through having long hair that you can't wash your hair every day. When I had short hair, every time I jump in the shower every day, you wash it real quick, right? You can't do that if you got long hair. Yeah, I use conditioner. So I wash, and so I have, like I use like an anti-dandruff shampoo because I'm prone to that, and it keeps that under control for me. And then I use Pantene conditioner, usually like the dry hair conditioner or whatever, the moisturizing Pantene Pro V. And I do that, twice a week. Wash it, condition. Wash it, condition. Right? Lucky I'm bald as fuck. Sorry, genetic lotto, dude. Yeah, I'm due for a haircut. Not a major one, but just like it's getting down below my shoulders now. I want to get it back up to here and get it all freshened up and stuff. Because this length to there is about where I like my hair. So I'm due. I'm due for a trim up. I have to shave dome every 2 or 3 days or I look like Dr. Phil. Dude, I'm not gonna flex it. It suck. I would suck. I just don't. I won't ever know the feels. Like I don't have that genetic marker or whatever. All the men in my family keep their hair into their old age. They don't bald. So it's one thing I won't have to worry about now. Cancer, heart disease, lung disease, all kinds of other bullshit. I gotta worry about that. But balding, I can kick back on that. Don't gotta worry too much about that. Yep. The men on both sides of my family just have giant full heads of hair till they die. My grandfather died with an afro, basically. I got perm on his head. So balding just ain't in my future. My dad's got a full head of hair. He's about to be 70 years old. Turned 70 in January. Arthritis. What disease am I most prone to get? It'll be heart trouble or cancer, one of the two that get me, probably. I'm low T. That probably helps. I don't know. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, honestly. Dad's 69. Nice. Yeah, 69. 69, Dad. 69, bro. Can't believe there's no baldness cure yet. Oh, dude, haven't you seen it? They can take some hair off your ass and staple it to your head now. And it looks great. Sarcasm. I have a full head of hair, although I've transitioned. Yeah. I mean, it's just like genetically, some people are marked for it and some people ain't. It's not something that's like ubiquitous across all men. Some men just don't bald. Some do. I think most do, but some don't. Yeah, there's a baldness cure. Look at Elon. Yeah, Elon was dead bald in his 20s, and now he's got a big, giant, righteous mane on top of his head. You just need money. You just got to become a billionaire. It's weird knowing what's going to kill you. Yeah. But there's a comfort in it, you know, because like now I know, and knowing's half the battle. G.I. Joe. Hair transplant is not a baldness cure. I was being sarcastic, bro. I know it's not a baldness cure. I was being sarcastic. Oh, not you, Abby. All right, well, don't talk to other people. It's weird outside conversations when I read my chat and I'm trying to have a conversation. I think you're talking to me when you just speak. And it's a waste of time when I read it, so stop talking to other people. Problem solved. Y'all can take it to DMs. I'm fine with you exchanging Twitter handles or Discord handles or whatever, and y'all can fucking argue till you're blue in the face. You're just not going to do it in my chat. Okay? Okay. Stop my balding with Feinstrad and Rogaine. Got it. Yeah, I'm the fucking star. No. What was your favorite store in the mall? I mean, dude, I never really had a whole lot of money, but back in the day, and you guys are gonna make fun of me, Hot Topic was actually dope back in the day, okay? You could get really cool fandom kind of stuff in there that really wasn't available because it was like pre-internet kind of stuff. And so we used to make fun of it even back in the day. We used to call it Hot Gothic. But truly, like, you could get a band shirt in there. You got some really cool types of stuff in there that you weren't going to find anywhere else. So you couldn't really order online. So yeah, Hot Topic was dope. Spencer's, you guys ever been in a Spencer's Gifts? It kind of sucks now, but that used to be another cool store that would, you know, like it had merch from nerdy stuff in there that you could only get there. Suncoast was another good one, yeah. But you know what the best thing in the mall was? If you guys can guess what the best thing in the mall was, then I'll know that you're a true child of the fucking 80s and 90s, bro. Well, Suncoast is big on anime like later. We're talking about in the 80s, 90s. Suncoast was like a digital play. It was like kind of like a, I don't even know what to compare it to. Like a digital gadgets and cool stuff and like anime stuff a little bit and like foreign movie stuff and posters and technology. Yeah, David got it. One internet point for David, dude. Orange Julius, bro. I don't care, dude. Every time we went to the mall, I didn't know what I was gonna buy, if anything, but I knew that there was one thing that was gonna get purchased. One thing, 100%. Might be the only thing I purchase. We're getting a large Orange Julius, and we're sucking that bad boy down. Dippin' Dots are a rip, bro. Dippin' Dots suck. Dude, I'm older than Dippin' Dots, and let me tell you, when those came out, I tried them, and I was like, this won't last, and here we are. Pretzels are fire. Yeah, the food court is fire, but I'm just telling you, I don't really like that. I didn't eat a lot there because it's expensive. There's a little arcade in the mall back in the day. I used to pop in there, you know, grab a Julius. Dippin' Dots are ass. Sorry, Abby. A total ripoff. I don't understand people that eat Dippin' Dots, bro. It's like you're paying for less. Yeah, the ice cream of future disappointment. Yeah. I like frozen yogurt. Yeah, I like frozen yogurt. I like those froyo places, you know, where you can put your own toppings and stuff on, and they charge you by weight. I like those places. You guys ever been to one of those places, like the little froyo bar, where you can put like crushed up Oreo cookies or caramel or whatever on top? and then they put it on a scale at the end of it, and you pay whatever the scale tells you. I like those places. Make your own froyo. An antique store in my mall that has the best VHS movie. That's really cool, yeah. I haven't been to a mall in fucking years. I won't lie to you. It's just not a place that calls me anymore. But it was like really super common for kids to socialize there, you know, in the 80s and 90s. So I was there a lot. Remember walking around the arcade checking the coin return on every machine. Oh yeah, dude, you would find quarters. You would find quarters. If you looked in the coin return in every machine, you'd find a quarter in there every once in a while. Dude, you'd keep your game going sometimes if you looked. Yeah, you'd find tons, bro. I mean, not enough to play all day, but people would just leave the quarter returns in there sometimes. I don't know why. Malls are back since the pandemic. Everyone goes now. Really? I did not know that. That's interesting. But yeah, I haven't been back to the mall. Arcades in general need to make a comeback because the mall arcade was always kind of weak. I mean, it had, you know, Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat and shit in it, but the selection was pretty low, you know. It was a small kind of like arcade. They didn't want to give up a bunch of retail space for an arcade. But like, there's a place in Fresno that I used to go to as a kid. It's still there. It's called Blackbeard's. It's like a little like mini golf, go-karts, water slides, and they had a huge warehouse arcade there, bro. And my mom used to just take me and my friends there, give me $10, like a roll of quarters, right? Say, have fun, I'll be back in a couple hours, you know, and we'd fucking just run around the arcade and spend every bit of that $10 a quarters. My mom would come back, pick us up. That was just routine, you know? Blackbeard's is the place for fun. Ba-na-na-na, fun. That was the commercial. We only have a scant few malls in the Netherlands. We're more of a shopping center people. Shopping center. What's the difference functionally between a shopping center and a mall? By my colloquial use of the language, that's the same thing. I would, if somebody said I'm going to the shopping center, I'd think, oh, they're going to the mall. Like, what's a shopping center versus a mall? Because a mall's just a big conglomeration of small shops with, you know, different fashion items and tchotchkes and electronics and all that stuff, right? Different stores all around each other. Oh, so like we would call that like a, what do they call that? Like an outlet mall? Like an outlet? Because we would call those an outlet mall. So it's outdoors, but all these little shops are not connected to each other, but it's a bunch of little things, right? It's like Sunglass Hut and little fashion store and a Nike shop and this, that, right? Like an outlets. Yeah. I mean, those are pretty blendable in my mind. A strip mall, I get that strip mall thing. Yeah. But if it's like what I'm thinking about, like an outdoor outlet place where it's like you got the Nike store, you got the Reebok store, you got a fucking watch place, you got a Sunglass Hut, you got a perfume place, you got ladies' clothes, you got plus size clothes, you got this, that, the other, right? Little gadgets, little gizmos shop, and then you got a restaurant that you can eat at, and you got that, right? I don't mind an outlet because I can just choose what I want to go look at. I like, oh, do I want shoes? Let's go in the Nike place and see what deals they got on shoes. Oh, do I need a pair of sunglasses? Let's go in the sunglass place and see what they got. You know, oh, do I want a new fucking graphic tee? Let's go into this fucking, band tee, rock tee kind of place and see if there's anything cool. Well, I want an orange Julius. Well, I'm shit out of luck because you can't get those anymore. You know, wonderful. Good times. But I don't think that the mall experience is going to be as mind-blowing as you think it is if you ever get to have it. Malls are just kind of like, they're cool at first, and then you realize, like, what a temple to fucking capitalism this is. And how little there really is to do here unless you want to just walk around a window shop all day. Dude, I had some cool RC cars back in the 80s when I was a kid. Yeah, some dope ones, bro. I had one that was like made so if it flipped over, it would just keep going. It was like flat and it had big tires on it, and if it ever got flipped, it would just like switch over into that gear and keep going. You could just keep controlling it. That one was dope. I had some fast hobbyist ones. My dad even bought one time that ran on like mixed gasoline. Super loud. He would, tear ass with it up and down. Let me do it. Oh yeah, dude. Back in the 80s, you could get a gun. They had the like orange nib on them. But you could get a gun as a kid that looked like a real fucking pistol, bro. And then, when they sold it, it would come with that little orange nib, but every kid would just, like, fucking snap that off. Pretty dangerous, you know? A spider on my arm? I'm not a spider. I don't fear the spider, you know? So if I do, tell me. Is it this thing? This is just a fucking piece of my hair. Yeah, the water gun. I had tons of cool water guns and whatever. Gauges, yeah. Zeros. Just can't really see them because they're hidden behind hair and beard most of the time, but I love keeping them. I've had them since I was a teenager, so. Had some super soakers, yep. Had some cool fucking squirt guns, yes, yes, yes. Blackbeard's is the place for fun. Ooh. Can't even fathom how much I enjoy your content. Well, I'm glad, bud. I'm glad you enjoy. I genuinely enjoy making it, and I'm glad that you enjoy watching it, because it really wouldn't work without those two components. If I didn't like doing this, I wouldn't. And if you didn't like watching this, you wouldn't. So I'm glad that works out. It's Nerf or nothing. Nerf. I love Nerf. Yeah, them flies, man. They're pretty lethargic today because it's breezy, which is nice for me. But they don't like that. And then it's also like hot, when the breeze isn't up. And they don't like that either. I just got the fucking shit rearranged. I can feel that sun on my back. God damn it. Yeah. I've been to the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. I've been to the Venice Beach Boardwalk. They're both pretty fun. Blackbeard's is the place for fun. I'm in Central California for now. But I'm dust in the wind. Who knows where I'll be? Nice day for a white wedding. It's a nice day to start again. Nice day. Start again. Ow. Get, you little fly ass. Here, this'll help. Get myself back in the goddamn shade. That's better. Now go. Be gone with you, fly.
Naughty little fly, why does it cry? Caught in a web, soon he'll be eaten.
What's your favorite part of California? Central Coast. Pismo Beach, Grover Beach, the Sand Highway, Pismo Dunes, whatever you want to call it. If I had my druthers, that's where I'd be. But it's too expensive. So here I stand. Here I stand, a broken-hearted, tried to shit and only farted. Damn, I got a big one on deck. Fuck. I like Old Town Sacto, but not very much about the rest. I would never live in Sacto. Well, California is beautiful, man. California beautiful, man. Fucking pristine. Oh, dude, them Pismo cinnamon rolls from Old Fashioned or what is it, Old Time or Old Fashioned? I can't remember. I think it's Old Time cinnamon rolls. Yeah, dude. Those things are fucking dank, bro. Dank. I spent some time on the East Coast of my teens with my dad, but not since then. So I'm very, like, I've been to Florida as an adult. I guess that's technical. I mean, like Orlando. I lived down south for a while, so I guess it's, you know, like in Louisiana. It's not east, but it's close enough. But no. I spent a little time back east with my dad in my teens. I got to go to New York, Pittsburgh, DC. But yeah, no, I haven't spent any time. I like Reading. It's all right. It's expensive to live there. It's beautiful, though. Nope, never been to New England. Get out of here, flies. Sons of bitchin' bumpuses. All right. Where you at now? All of a sudden, I'm not covered in flies. What's the deal? Oh, you one down here, huh? Hey, fly through this. You can go right through it. It's okay. Oh, damn. Close. Oh, gotcha, bitch. 2 down. Who else? Oh, another one down here. Okay. Gotcha, bitch. 2 down. 3 down. Who else? I'm getting good with this thing. 4 down. 5 down. I'm on a kill streak. Holy shit. Holy shit. Unstoppable. Triple kill. Quadra kill. Penta kill. And now look, I'm not covered in fucking flies, bro. Oh, there's a little one down here. Oh, very close. Killed your parents, and I will kill you. Godlike. Unstoppable. Holy shit. Overkill. Ultra kill. He's heating up. Oh, so close. Right there, land. Yes. He's on fire. 6 down. Bum 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 bum. Orchid wins. Dude, is that yeah, that's Killer Instinct. Hyper combo. Insane combo. Ultra! Combo breaker. Did you play the new Doom games? I have played a little bit of them. They're all right, man. I just miss the old Doom, man. I'm sorry. I'm an old head when it comes to Doom. I like them good enough, but I haven't beaten either one of them. I played both of them. Thought they were cool for a while, but I just got kind of bored. Damn, son. Damn, son. I wish they would have continued the Duke Nukem thing. Yeah, that would have been cool. But nah. Couldn't make a good game. So, Duke Nukem is dead. Oh, you New York girls. I went down to Bleecker Street, a fair maid I did meet. Duke Nukem was a novelty even back in the day. Yeah, it was, but it was a good game too. It was like a playable boomer shooter back in the day, and now they just can't get it right. They think they're too funny. That's what it is. These like millennial writers think that they're too funny with their like ironic humor and shit, and their I can't even shit, and it just ruins fucking writing. It ruins comedy. It ruins action. It ruins everything. Like when I run into a movie that leads with its millennial sensibilities and lingo, it better be a great film. Like I'll tell you a movie that did it and it was great. Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. Bodies, Bodies, Bodies leans heavily into that disaffected millennial attitude and lingo, but it's a good examination of that, right? Like it's meant to be that. When I see one of those trying to be cool by throwing in a I can't even kind of millennial level fucking anti-humor, I'm out. Sorry. Ain't funny to me. And that's the problem. A lot of these fucking people that are working on these old franchises going like, let's recapture the magic, don't have it in them because they were broken by millennial shit humor. Zombieland is another good example of leaning into the millennial shit and making it work. If you play like the first couple of Duke Nukem boomer shooter games from back in the 90s, and then you play the most recent Duke Nukem reboot, you'll see exactly what I mean. It's a try-hard game. The old Duke Nukem was just effortlessly so bad it's good, funny, kind of a commentary on action tropes, but it wasn't trying too hard. They made it a fun game first and a wry commentary second. Play the new Duke Nukem, its whole millennial fucking sense of transgression, it's on its sleeve. Wears the whole fucking plot on its sleeve. It's trying so hard to be funny and edgy, and it just doesn't work. Yeah, a modern twist. Another good example of this, another great franchise that's gone completely unplayable. Saints Row, right? Saints Row used to, because it wasn't so steeped, it was like making fun of millennial tropes. Now it's just a millennial trope game. Now it's a game that openly embraces millennial tropes. It's like, oh, whoops. How many Marvel movies you think you could sit through without dying of brain rot? Exactly the amount that I have. I watched the first season of the MCU pretty extensively. I'm talking like Iron Man 1, 2, 3, Thor 1, 2, fucking all the Avengers, Iron Man, I already said Iron Man, Hulk, you know, all that first gen MCU shit started 20 years ago. That's exactly the amount that I can watch without succumbing to brain rot. And I haven't watched a single one since Endgame, and cheers to that. My brain remains unrotted. I haven't seen Ant-Man. I haven't seen fucking any of the new Deadpool shit. I don't watch cape shit anymore, and I'm done. Thus, my brain remains preserved. That's better. How to do my stretches and shit, my squats. Helps, man. Helps. I try and stick to 2 to 3 times a day that I do that. 5 minutes of like intense stretching, mindfulness meditation, and a little calisthenic. Anyway, it's too hot though. So goodbye. See ya.